Hey yogis, I'm Eva, and today we're going to have a gentle yoga practice. So welcome to the YMCA virtual studio. And we'll go ahead and we'll get started, about 45-minute class. So let's get on our backs and we'll get started. So lay on your back in any comfortable pose. Just close your eyes. If your legs are straight, let your feet fall open. And just take a few moments here to deepen your breath. Breathing deeply in and out through the nose if possible. Allow your shoulders to melt down into your mat. And then go ahead and bend your knees and widen your stance, feet towards the edges of your mat. Just gently take a rock with your knees side to side. And then a few movements with your head, turning your head away from your knees. And then we'll bring everything back to center. And then bringing the bottoms of your feet together, we'll open our knees wide here in a butterfly pose. So we're just going to relax your knees down towards the floor. And take one hand to your heart and the other hand to your belly, and just notice that expansion and contraction as your breath slows and deepens. And then bring your knees back together again. And stretch your arms down by your sides. Walk your heels in towards your fingertips, feet about hip bone width apart or 2 fists distance apart. Press down into your feet, squeeze into your glutes and your hamstrings, and we'll lift the hips away from the ground in a bridge pose here. So hips lifting, lift through the chest. Maybe tuck your shoulder blades a little closer together behind you. Squeezing your inner thighs towards the midline here. Let's lift up high onto the toes. Sweep your arms all the way up and overhead till they reach the floor behind you, and slowly roll your spine down. And bring your arms and your heels back at the end of that breath. Once again, bring the soles of your feet together. We'll open our knees, returning to that butterfly pose here, or Supta Baddha Konasana. This time, reach your arms all the way up and over your head. And then grab hold of your elbows. A nice big opening here. And go ahead and release your arms. Let's bring the knees in together. Again, arms by your sides. We'll walk our heels in towards our fingertips. Returning to that bridge pose here. So press down, squeeze the glutes and the hamstrings, peel your hips away from the ground. Again, scoop your shoulder blades a little closer together, or maybe even connect your hands behind you, reaching your knuckles towards your heels. See if we can lift the hips a little higher and the heart a little higher. And on Your next breath in, again, lift up high onto your toes, sweep your arms up and overhead till they reach the floor, and slowly roll again your spine down to the floor. And return your heels and arms back by your sides. Okay. Let's step the feet out wide like we did before. Once again, rock your knees a little side to side, maybe stretch your arms out wide to a T. The next time your knees are over to your right, I'm going to mirror you here, so mine are to my left. Stay right here in this gentle twist, or take your right heel, place it on the outside of your left knee, and just let the weight of that leg tug your left knee a little closer to the ground. And replace your foot to the floor, and we'll rock our knees up and over through center to the other side. Same thing over here. We can stay like this or take the left heel to the outside of your right knee. And release that foot, rock your knees back to center. Heel toe your feet all the way in together. We'll bring the bottoms of the feet together. Again, open your knees wide. Now stretch your arms all the way up and overhead. Take hold of your elbows. And release your arms. Let's bring the knees together. One more bridge pose here, palms down, walk your heels in, root into your feet, peel your hips up and away. So maybe clasping the hands together, scooping the shoulder blades a little closer together. Or maybe this time we lift the heels up, but linger here a little bit longer. See how high the hips can go. On your next inhale breath, sweep your arms up and overhead and slowly roll your spine down. And release your arms and your heels back down. This time, let's take both knees into the chest and a little rock side to side. And back in center. Well, come on up to a seated pose. You can either roll over onto one side, climb your way up, or rock and roll. And come all the way up to a seated pose here. All right. So nice and tall. Lift up tall through the crown of the head. Relax your shoulders down. Okay, let's take a deep breath in. Sweep both arms out and up overhead, lengthening your sides. Take your left fingers down to the floor, reach that right arm up and then over, and then gaze down at your left fingers. And your next inhale, let's lengthen both arms up through center. And then release your right fingers down, stretch that left arm up and take it over, and gaze down at your right fingers. And then reaching both arms up, take a deep breath in, lengthen your sides. And then reach back behind you, interlace your fingers together, open the chest. Try to keep your thumbs near your body, but tug your elbows back towards the back of the room. And release your arms. Let's reach both arms up high. One more time, left fingers down, reach the right arm up and over. Inhale, reaching both arms up. And exhale, right fingers down, left arm up and over, gaze down. And inhale, reach both arms up. And this time we'll release hands to heart center. All right, now we'll come on over onto hands and knees. So wrists under the shoulders, knees below the hips. We'll just move through a few cows and cats here and we'll move on. So we'll inhale to our spinal extension, cow pose, lower the belly, lift the heart and the tail. And exhale, round the back, press down into your palms, lift your ribs up. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat pose. And if you like to break away from that cat-cow mold here, moving in any way really that feels good to you in your spine. If you like to add a little bit more bending through the elbows or maybe circling around a little bit, just feel free. Trust your own intuition. All right. And we'll come back to our flat back and into a child's pose here. Bring your big toes together. Widen your knees towards the edges of the mat and just melt your chest down. Rest your forehead either on your mat, on your hands, or on your block. And wiggle your hips a little bit. And then relax your hips and just rock your head a little side to side. So you're rolling over that third eye. And then bring your head back to center. And now stretch the arms forward in extended child's pose if you're not there already. Spread your fingers wide, press down into your palms. Now beginning to make this a little bit more active. So lengthen your sides. Take your elbows up while you're pressing down to your palms and try to curl your elbow creases or your armpits towards one another. Feel how that activates your shoulders. And we'll come forward to a plank pose. So let's bring the chest forward till our shoulders stack over our wrists. Lift the ribs up and you're pressing the floor down away from you. Ribs towards the spine. Lengthen all four sides of the neck. Your gaze just a little bit beyond the front edge of your mat. And we'll tuck the toes under for downward facing dog. Start to pull your hips back towards your heels. Let your knees float away from the ground. And then start to extend your legs. We keep that little bend in the knees so that you can lift your sit bones up and sink down through your heels. Now, if down dog's a lot today, come on back to child's pose instead. And throughout our practice, you can kind of interchange the two. If you're in downward facing dog here, just begin to pedal the feet. We're tugging the hips back and up. Just press one heel down and the other. And then sink down through both heels. Again, knees are soft, sit bones lifting. Come high onto your toes. Come forward to a plank pose. Shoulders over the wrists. Softly set your knees down and come on back to your child's pose. Sweep your arms out and around behind you. Rest the backs of your hands on your mat. All right, sweep the arms forward, lengthen. Now we'll come forward to that kneeling plank pose. And downward facing dog, tuck the toes. Hips back towards your heels. Sink the heels down. Reach your hands forward, ears right between our biceps. So this time, if you're in down dog, lift your right leg up. From here or from child's pose, Runner's lunge pose. Curl your knee underneath you. Step your foot all the way up between your thumbs. Use your hand if you need to. And then lift the chest. If you came from child's pose, maybe you lift that back knee up now so you're here in a kneeling lunge. And flatten the back. So if you need, maybe take a block to help lift the chest a little higher. I'm just going to take a little shift forward and back. Little shift. Either keep it small or make it a little bit bigger and lift your front toes up away from the ground. Okay. Let's rebend that front knee. Now softly set your back knee down. Sink the hips forward and down. Take your right hand to your hip. Left hand will stay inside of that front foot. And we'll spin the chest to your right. Take a twist. Okay. Release both hands back down to the mat. Lift the back knee and step back to either a down dog or a child's pose. Okay, so right back where you were. And the other side. So if you're in down dog, float your left leg up and step your left foot forward from either pose. Runner's lunge. Heel all the way up underneath your knee. Back thigh is lifting. Front pelvis lifting. Nice and long here, all the way down from your crown to your back heel. Let's take that little rock forward and back. Okay, big or small, maybe you start to stretch your front leg a little longer. All right, rebend that front knee and let's softly set the back knee down. Sink the hips forward and down. Okay. Right hand will stay down, left hand to your hip, and we'll spin the chest to the left. And release both hands down. And we'll step back to either a down dog or a child's pose. From either pose, take a deep breath in, look forward to your hands, and as you exhale, slowly walk your feet forward to your hands. So if you're in that child's pose, lift your hips, tuck your toes, and walk forward. So let's come all the way up to the front of the mat. Forward fold. You're folding your body in half. Try to relax your head and your neck. Knees are soft. Draw the belly in. So you can fold a little deeper. Melt your ribs towards your thighs. And take a walk with your hands around to the outside of your right foot, keeping your knees and toes forward. Try to square the shoulders to the side. And slightly draw your right knee forward and your left hip back. And then walk your hands around center to the outside of your left foot. Square the shoulders to the side. This time that right hip is going to tug back, left knee will drift forward just a little bit to stretch the lower side, lower right side of your back. And then we'll come on back to center. Forward fold, Uttanasana. Now lift halfway up. So we're going to lengthen forward. Bend your knees as much as you need to flatten your back. Keep reaching the heart forward. And then get the legs just a little bit straighter, but without rounding your spine here. So just to that point, you're feeling a nice stretch in the hamstrings. Torso is long. And then forward fold again, bow. Do that again. Inhale, lengthen forward, find that flat back, and then from there, come all the way up to standings. Bend your knees, lift the chest, keep the back flat on the way up, sweep your arms high, and release hands to heart center. Inhale, let's reach out and up. And we'll dive to our forward fold. So soft knees, either swan dive or hands through the midline, your choice. Inhale, flat back again, let's lengthen. Forward fold on the exhale, let it go, relax the head and neck. Inhale, reach the heart forward, flat back, rise all the way up to standing. Let's sweep the arms high. Palms together, exhale, hands to heart center. Shift your weight to your right foot and we'll spread those toes. Slowly take your left knee up. Take your right hand to your hip and your left hand to the front of your shin. We're going to open that knee out to the left, your left. Finding that balance. We'll keep that foot lifted. But slowly start to step that left foot back. You can bring hands to heart center along the way for warrior one. So a lot of distance between our feet so that when we bend our front knee, it's not going way forward of our ankle, but stacked just above. Back leg nice and straight, back heel's grounded. We'll try to square the ribs and the shoulders forward. And reach your arms up. Lifting up through the heart, soften the shoulders down. And then warrior two, let's turn the hips and the heart out to the left. Spread your wings wide here, really stretch from fingertips to fingertips. Press the front knee open, tends to collapse inward here, so we're going to press it open. And center your hips below your shoulders. All right, let's reverse our warrior. We'll turn the front palm up, reach that arm high. Back to warrior two. Straighten the front leg. Reach out forward over your toes. Bring your hand down to your shin or to your block and the back arm up for a triangle pose. Tug your hips towards the back of the room. Lengthen the lower side body forward. I'll do this from the side, but you can stay forward here. And take your top arm, wrap it around your lower back. Lean the top shoulder back. We bend your front knee. Now reach that front arm all the way up for reverse warrior. This time we've got a little half bind going. Cartwheel your hands down to your front foot. Swivel to the ball of the back foot. And we'll step the back foot forward to the front of your mat for a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Come all the way up to standing. Bend into your knees. Lift through the chest. And release, hands to heart center. Shift your weight into your left foot. We'll spread those toes. Lift your right knee up. So we'll find our balance here. Take your left hand to your hip and right hand to your knee. Let's take our knee out to the side and open the hip. All right. So we're going to start to step that foot back. So let go of your knee. You can take your hands to heart center along the way. Warrior one. So ground through the back heel, deep bend in the front knee, and we'll turn the shoulders forward. Reach your arms up. And breathe. Slow and deep. And warrior two, turn your hips open. Gazing forward beyond those front fingertips, the front knee staying open. We should be able to see our big toe. Lengthen the tail, gauge the belly. Let's reverse our warrior. Turn the front palm up, reach that arm high. And back to warrior two. All right, this time we'll straighten the front leg. Reach out over the toes as your hips tug back. And we'll find our triangle, Trikonasana. Bring your hand right down to your shin or to the block. Tug the hips back. Try to lean the top shoulder back so you can stay in line with your front leg, everything right down the midline. Let's take that top arm, wrap it around the lower back. Ready? We're going to bend deeply into the front knee. Take that front hand, reach it all the way up for our peaceful warrior or reverse warrior with that half bind. Cartwheel your hands down to your front foot. Turn to the ball of the back foot. Step your back foot forward to forward fold. All right, so this time we're going to step out wider towards the edges of the mat. Grab hold of your elbows. Let it go in our ragdoll pose. Maybe a little sway side to side. All right, release your hands. Let's heel toe back into hip width apart or 2 fist distance. Lift your torso halfway and lengthen. And we're going to step back to our plank pose. Walk your feet back, shoulders stay over the wrists, and we'll softly set our knees down. From here, we're going to come on down to our elbows. So replacing your hands with your elbows. So elbows are right underneath your shoulders in a forearm plank pose. So you're going to push the ground away with the forearms. A little dome in the upper back. Keep the belly in nice and tight. To our Sphinx pose, slowly let your hips come down to the floor. Point your toes back. Lift the chest forward and up. Shoulders are back and down. Nice controlled back bend here. If you're feeling this too much in the low back, lift the front pelvis or pubic bone towards your chin. Slowly lower your chest all the way down to the floor. You can make a pillow with your hands for your chin, bend your knees, and we'll circle our feet a few times here. A few times in each direction. Relax your feet. Extend your legs so that you're on your shoelaces here. Let's slide our hands back next to our ribs, elbows in. We'll press to our child's pose here. So let's push down, lift your hips, and sit back. And let's thread the needle with our right arm. So we'll turn that right palm up, slide it underneath your left armpit, turn your head to your left. And switch sides, extend the right arm. We'll thread the needle with the left. All right, reach that left arm forward. And we'll come on up to a seated pose. All right, let's come on into butterfly pose to start. I'll get this a little deeper in a moment. Soles of the feet together. Hold on to your toes or ankles. Let's lift the chest, lean forward. Grow your spine long. Back flat, all four sides of the neck still long here. Reach the heart forward. Let's rise all the way up. Okay. Extend your legs out wide here. You didn't do a forward bending straddle pose today, so we'll come into a seated straddle. So nice and wide with the feet, and just let the hips drift forward a little bit. Keep a little softness in your knees. Block in front of you might be nice to lean on. Lift the chest, start to hinge forward. Maybe lean on the block or right down on the floor. And for a moment here, try to press the backs of your thighs, press your hamstrings back down into the mat, like you're rooting there. Grow your spine a little longer. And then relax the backs of your thighs and maybe fold a little deeper. Flex your feet, press away with the soles of your feet. Try to rotate your toes up towards the sky. All right, send the heart forward and rise all the way back up. Let's bend our knees. We're going to come onto our backs. But have your block, if you have one, where you can reach it. Your strap too, if you have one, but no worries if not. You're going to slowly come onto your back and hold on to your thighs. Take a moment, hug your knees into your chest. And release your left foot down to the floor. We're going to extend with a bent knee. We'll extend the right leg up. Hold behind your thigh to start here. So you'll get a chance to use the strap in a moment, but for now, Hold behind your thighs. We're going to press our palms into the back of the thigh, like pulling the leg forward towards us, but try to press your leg away from you into your palms. So you're going in both directions here. So you're pulling the leg in, but trying on its own to press away into your hands. One more breath. If your leg's shaking a little bit, you're doing good. All right. And then release that pressure. Maybe climb your hands up to the back of your calf, or reach up, maybe grab hold of your big toe, or use your strap here around the bottom of your right foot. Keep the tailbone lengthening down, just tugging that leg overhead just a little bit more, and wherever you're hanging on. And then extend your left leg all the way down to your mat. And we're going to slowly take that leg out to the right. You can reach your left arm out to your left to help ground that left shoulder. Now let's rebend the left knee. Bring your right leg back up to center. And you can lose the strap here. Cross your right heel over your left knee for a figure four or a pigeon on our back. So the big triangle between your legs. Flex that right foot. So you're kind of pressing the outer edge of your foot forward away from you. Stay here if you're feeling a lot. Or for more, lift your left foot up. Or more still, you can take hold of your left thigh with your right hand between your legs. Or use your strap if your thigh is a little far away. Lengthen the tail. Hugging in. Feel free to take a little shift side to side. And we'll go ahead and release the left foot back down, followed by the right foot. So let's extend, I'm all tied up here, extend your left leg up this time, right foot on the floor with a bent knee. Hold behind your left thigh. Pull in, so we're pressing our palms into the back of the thigh or hamstrings. Press your leg away, like you're pressing your thigh bone into your palms. And then release that pressure. Climb your hands up to either your calf again or big toe, or use your strap around the bottom of that foot, left foot. And stretching a little deeper, tug your toes towards the back of the room. Extend your right leg all the way down to the mat. And we'll take that left leg out to the left slowly. Right arm can reach right. And rebend your right knee. Bring that left foot back up and our figure four here. So left heel to the right knee. Stay here or pick your foot up. So same options on this side. Lengthen the tail, encouraging your left knee to stay forward away from you while you're drawing that right thigh in. And release that right foot down, followed by your left foot. We'll get about a quick L pose here before we finish. So grab hold of your block, bring it underneath your hips. If you don't have a block, use your fists underneath you. Bring your knees into your chest and extend your legs up. Draw your knees into your chest. And then one at a time, bring your feet back down to the floor. You can take your block out from underneath you. And we'll head to final relaxation or shavasana here. So extend your legs if your lower back is okay with that, and turn your palms up and close your eyes. If your lower back doesn't like straight legs, bend your knees, rest your knees against each other with wider feet. And then be still. Let's begin to bring a little movement back into our body, wiggling fingers and toes. And on your next inhale, reach your arms all the way up and overhead. And bend your knees into elbows. Slowly curl all the way onto your favorite side. And slowly make your way up to a seated pose. Try to hold on to that peaceful feeling. You can keep your eyes closed here if you'd like, while you find your center and sit up tall. Let's take one more breath together. Inhale, reach your arms up. Bring your palms together. Exhale, hands to heart center. It's been my honor leading your practice. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Namaste.